action. Here we are in South Australia, or Adelaide, South Australia, in the suburb of Kilkenny.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
With the legend of Australian Muay Thai himself, the massive personality, Pinky Donald.
I'll definitely take the massive personality over the legend.
No, look, I think you are a legend, mate. I mean, everyone around the nation knows who you are. That's involved in Muay Thai. You know, you've got. Let's talk about your podcast you've got as well. Is it you got a good podcast? Is it?
Yeah,
Ring Lovers.
Yeah, love it, man.
With Maddie.
Yeah, with Matt. Do it every week, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
What episode are you up to now, bro?
128 or something.
Every week.
We've missed 1 week in the last 2.5 years or something. Yeah.
I think you get. I mean, I listen to it.
Yeah.
I think most of the Muay Thai community.
I think it's definitely like It's funny, like, because I talk a lot of shit, like about Queensland on there, for instance, you know. But one of our biggest listening groups is Queensland.
I think Queensland. I mean, most probably they know. They probably know.
Yeah. The thing, like, there's so many of them now that are on the same page as us.
Yeah.
Like, WA, I think, is still our biggest listening base in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then you also got Pinky's Rants, and that's gone to the.
I still do them every now and then, but I've got like the Think Pinks, which are like a short format sort of.
A bit of shorts.
Yeah, because you struggle to get people's attention for much longer than 20 seconds these days. So I've got the Think Pinks. I still do a rant from time to time.
Yeah.
Just my YouTube channel. I've got a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah. I'm mostly like Muay Thai saved my life.
That's my latest thing. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. It was a project we started in Thailand with a group that I used to work with, and it never really took off. Everything just shut down before we got a chance to really get it happening. But I've decided now just to do it myself.
Yeah. Well, you talked about, like, on the last episode, you were talking about how Muay Thai with the discipline made you a better man, made you more of a person, made you love yourself a little bit more. But would you think the community is like that play part in that as well?
I think so. Like, my biggest thing with people who make it in Muay Thai are very, very rarely like silver spoon kids, you know? Like, people join Muay Thai because they want to try something new, but they stick around because they feel accepted. A lot of people don't feel accepted in Muay Thai, in their world, so they come to Muay Thai, and Muay Thai accepts everyone. I think the biggest thing is, you know, a lot of us are broken. A lot of us are, you know, there's something wrong with us, and we use this as a tool to get better. Yeah. We've had this chat, man. You and me talk very deeply about it, you know, like, I'm very open about my story, like, from, you know, I just no self-esteem, drug addiction, you name it, and this was before Muay Thai. That's a perfect segue, bro. Let's start off with the Muay Thai career. I mean, the Muay Thai journey itself. So, like, you come from a pretty bad, not a rough background. I've got like straighty 180 parents. I have quite a good relationship with them these days, and it's been very on and off over the years though. My parents are quite elderly. My dad just turned 80. My first time I'd sat down with both my parents and my brother having a meal in 10 years. Oh, really? Yeah. We went out for dinner for my dad's. My missus and kids came as well. But I come from a pretty good family. Like, the problem was, like, I didn't fit into that family. I'm going back to that sense of belonging. It's like that whole. I was the black sheep, and there was no. Let's let this black sheep run with it and do something with it. It was just beat me down to the point where pigeonhole you. And I didn't feel like I was. I didn't feel like I fitted anywhere. I didn't feel like I could go home and feel safe. I didn't feel like I could go to be at school and feel safe because I was bullied because I wasn't the same as everyone else. I was bullied for being the different guy, which is now what sets me apart from everyone and what makes people love me. That's the thing I try and tell my kids, you know, like, my son is very different. Like, he doesn't. You've met him, obviously. He doesn't fit into a box. No. He's 7 going on 71. Yeah. Have a look at him, mate. And he is so different to all these other kids. My kids don't do screens. They don't do sweets and chocolates and soft drinks and all that sort of stuff. And,
Well, how old are your kids, mate?
7 and 10.
7 and 10?
Yeah. And
Antoine and Bella, yeah?
Bella, yeah.
Yeah.
And both doing Muay Thai, both fighting.
Yeah.
Right now off screen, they're sparring each other, and
Yeah,
Antoine's been a bully, a 19-kilo bully. But yeah, they like, he doesn't fit into the box at all.
Do you let that run?
I do,
Yeah.
to a point.
Yeah.
Because you still have to somehow get through, and before you decide who you are, like I had to not conform, but I had to fit into the box at least slightly to be able to be employed, to be able to get the job done, to be able to come who I was.
Of course.
I had to make the money to go to Thailand. I had to make the money and, learn how to have a boss, because a problem with a lot of people these days is you've got these fighters who start a gym after 5 minutes because they can't be told what to do.
Yeah.
Like, you also need to be able to be told what to do.
You got to have parameters. You got to have boundaries.
100%.
You got to set boundaries as well.
I am hard on my kids, harder than.
I know you are. I was there the other day.
Yeah, most people.
Yeah.
They would go, "Oh man, you're too hard on your kids." Or am I though? Like,
But
the world's harder on these kids than I could ever be.
But there's always love there, isn't there?
I love them beyond belief,
Yeah, I know.
and
You can see that.
yeah, and I'm proud of them, and like just watching them, like sitting here watching them spar. It's like, these are my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is so
They
cool.
can enjoy it. Wow.
Yeah, and they.
Oh, just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I just want to have a look. Have a look at this.
Yeah, it's the best, man.
No, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Look.
So I was sort of saying, like, I think I never fit into the box, but then my self-esteem disappeared because of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I was made to go to school every day. And I didn't want to be there. I didn't fit in. I was bullied. I had a very small friendship group, and so this morning my son wakes up and he's like, "I don't want to go to school today, Dad." He goes, "Can I not go to school today, Dad?" I'm like, "No worries."
Yeah.
Like, I need him to feel that he gets to be someone,
Have his own autonomy.
Yeah, so
his own autonomy.
comes
Be his
to-
own person.
Came to the mechanics workshop while I was doing work on my car today.
Yeah.
Hung out, like, handed me tools, climbed up on my bull bar and watched me
bonding.
changing stuff. And
Bit of bonding there.
yeah, it's like, I don't believe in all that system anyway, like
the schooling
school system,
Yeah.
the whatever system.
The other day when I was at your place, you were talking about no screens. They don't have any screens.
Yep.
You let them use their imagination.
Yep.
Antoine had this box and he just made his car.
Yeah, made a
That's
car.
an imagination.
Yeah, man.
Remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
That's what we
bro,
had.
That's all we had.
A stick was a sword. A stick was a machine gun. A stick was other things too.
A stick was whatever.
Yeah, your imagination. What
Yeah,
your
man.
imagination had.
Do
Yeah.
you know what? I reckon the best toy he has ever had was a cardboard roll. Like
Yeah.
like everything with it. It was a sword. It was a didgeridoo.
You need that for the frontal cortex, creativity.
Yep.
That goes hand in hand with obviously being a fighter.
Yeah,
You need to be creative.
100%.
You need to be thinking on your feet. Yeah,
100%.
so, yeah.
And he's not so good at Muay Thai.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
But what is that with the girls like? We were talking about them
I was
before.
saying similar to
Were you talking about Panna? We were talking about
Connie, and Connor shows him up skill-wise.
Skill-wise. Fat's laughing.
But I do find.
Why is that? I mean, I see it as well. Technically, I love watching.
Okay, let's do
ladies.
pros and cons of both. We
I
talked
don't
about
know.
that previously. I used to hate women's fights.
Yeah,
I was talking
fuck
to Danny Rushton just before.
Yeah.
And I was just saying
In
about.
Coast Samui, WA Muay Thai
Yeah.
media, she WA girl.
Yeah. we were talking before, and she's like trying to understand why they don't let the women fight 2-minute rounds. I go, most dudes don't want to see it. I've changed due to having so many close friends now in the female Muay Thai scene. I can't watch two that I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm invested in the ones that I do know now.
That's true.
And I have so many that fight each other, and I'm actually invested in those. That's the only thing that gets me interested in the girls' fights.
Yeah.
And as a dude, I'm not a chauvinist, but I'm a man.
Yeah.
And most dudes don't want to watch girls fight, so they don't want to watch 5 3-minute rounds.
No.
They want to watch 5 2s. They want it over and done with.
Yeah.
Do I agree with it? No.
No.
They should be able to fight the 5 3s and stuff.
Yeah.
But the pros and cons of boys and girls. Boys tough, powerful.
Egos.
Testosterone. They'll go hard.
Yeah.
The negatives, they don't discuss how they're feeling about shit leading up to fights. they do bottle that stuff up and it collapses when they're in the ring.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, right? Whereas the girls, their last thought is, how can I make power?
Yeah.
Whereas that's the dude's first thought. So they think about doing it right.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's so much easier to make them like female fighters, like the technical style fighters, because they don't think about, I'm going to knock you out. They think about, I'm going to do it. I'm going to play this game. And then the negative thing with training the girls is, one, you've got to work around their menstrual cycle, whether it be weight cuts, whether it be the mood stuff or their energy levels.
Yeah.
Like, that's, once you understand that, and if you're not a dude who's like, oh, girls do. If you just go, okay, this is how girls are, this is how I need to deal with it.
Yeah.
If you can do that, then it's fine. The other thing is the injury prevention. Because in the way our bodies are built, men are built to be strong working.
Very resilient, very strong fighting.
Girls aren't. Like the ACL issue. And there's a hormone that's released pre-menstrual cycle, which softens all the connective tissue in your body. And that's when ACLs go. Yeah. 99% of women, if you ask them if they get their period 1 or 2 days after tearing their ACL, they'll say yes. My wife was one of them.
Wow.
Yep. So it's like, it's actually...
You've got a pretty good understanding of female fighters or coaching female fighters.
I don't have many. I haven't had many.
But we have the ladies class on now, though.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I haven't had them in the past because, one, I'm an offensive dude. Like,
no, you're not.
For me, whether you're a guy or a girl, your feelings are your problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to crack jokes, and I'm far from chauvinistic and stuff. People will say I am because I don't believe in feminism. Yeah. But
you're to the point, you know.
I'm 100%. But I'm the same with dudes. I'm no different to dudes, but it's not favoured upon the way I talk to people. So women are less likely to train with me. Yeah. I've had, I think maybe six females, I reckon. I think that's about it. And I've had 50 whatever fighters. Yeah. So it's like, I get it, but I tell you, the ones who do stick it out with me and can put up with it, that extra bit of resilience in training that makes them have to put up with me as a human will make a difference in the long run. Hannah's laughing in the background. But it's no different to the guys. It's no different to the guys. Yeah. But it's easier to offend a woman than it is a dude. No, all right. What about let's just go back. Let's rewind. Rewind. Muay Thai. How did you discover Muay Thai here in Adelaide, where it's Muay Thai Baron? No, I'm only joking. Oh, it is though. Like real Muay Thai Baron. Real Muay Thai Baron. I had a mate invite me along. I was in a pretty dark place, like just drinking a lot of alcohol. I was secretly on drugs that no one knew about at the time as well. Yeah. Okay. And that was like my biggest secret I kept for a long time. It took almost 20 years of using before anyone knew that I was using. Really? Yeah. The only people who knew were the people I used with. So you had two lives? Yeah, 100%. 100%. I suppose, look, but I hated myself, which is why I had that second life. Oh, yes, I know. I didn't want to be that person, so I wanted to escape that person. Yeah, right? Which is impossible. Yeah. Which is why I ended up moving to Thailand, but we'll go back to the start of it. So, one of the dudes who was probably one of the worst influences on me when it came to out drinking and stuff, because I was a entertaining drunk. I was a dude. I was violent. I was obnoxious. Because it was that everything that I was bottling down inside me would come out when I drink, right? Fuck yeah. So he invited me to training. Remember the gym? What was that? Sorry. Do you remember the gym? Kachina Fight Club. So. Their guys still come here to spar and stuff. Okay. Is that still a gym? Yeah, as well? Sam Benetti, he's got... Sam Benetti? Sam Benetti, he's got Manoli Camboris, who... I've known Sam since I was about 6. Yeah. He lived 2 doors down from my best friend who I grew up with. And I knew who he was, but I never had any sort of inkling to train and stuff. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew he was tough, you know? Yeah. And... this mate invited me along. He's like, do you want to come along? So I go, yeah, all right. So I go, what should I go to? Because they was doing Zendo Kai and Muay Thai. Which back in the day, most of them did, right? And then he goes, just come to the Muay Thai. It's cooler, you know? Yeah. All right, sweet. So I went to that. I would come home from my first session. I was unco, I was whatever. Come back and I said to my mum, I was still at my parents' house. I was like 20 years old. I go, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And I'd say that about everything. I'd say that about cars. I'd say it about women. Whatever. Everything. But I knew from that day that was my life was going to be different from that day on. Yeah, I think 22 years now. And no sign of ever disappearing from this sport, man. It's.
What is it about the sport that you like so much, then, mate?
Man, I owe the sport.
Yeah.
I owe the sport.
Oh, that's
I owe the sport my life.
Of course. Muay Thai saved my life.
Which is where, I love it. I love so much about it. There was a period of time where I wanted to step away from it completely.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I didn't. But I would have come back to it anyway, because I would have soon figured out that if it wasn't for this sport, I wouldn't be here,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been one hell of a spiritual journey.
The spiritual stuff. What's it called? What's
Sak Yant.
Sak Yant?
Sayasat is what the whole thing is called.
What's it called?
Sayasat.
Okay,
It's like the spiritual magic. But Sak Yant is the tattoo form, yeah.
The tattoo form.
Yeah.
And I've heard that sometimes when you get the Sak Yant, the tattoo form, it's quite a
you can trance and stuff.
Yeah, you get trance and you sometimes cry or
Yeah. It can be emotional. It can be.
Yeah.
Powerful,
I know some tough men that have cried or broken.
Because that's the thing, man. It's like same with any spiritual journey though. Like if you're 100% fine, no spiritual journey is going to help you. Or if also you don't want to have some belief in whatever that spiritual side is. If you want to act like you're too tough for these things to help you, they're never going to help you.
Yeah.
You've got to open yourself up to them. If you do open yourself up to them, man, it's going to do some scary stuff to you.
Oh, fucking oath, man. You've got some real spiritual stuff, and you got a temple at the front there, and you've got some real crazy stuff there.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the
big phalluses and stuff?
Yeah, or the human skull. Part of the human skull.
Like bits of like human body parts and stuff.
Oh,
But
what is that? What's
the third eye? It's about the third eye on the skull. It stores a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And it's what they call saksit. It's spiritually powerful in the sayasat sort of way, and people collect them. People they dig up a lot of the time, like it's Burmese soldiers. You have to have died violently as a general rule.
Yeah.
Another one is like women who died during childbirth and stuff like that as well. It's pretty hectic.
There's civil wars going on in Burma, obviously at the moment. A lot of deaths, a lot of violence, and wow, man, mate, that's another episode in itself. Did you fight in Thailand?
Yeah. I don't know the numbers of where I've had how many fights and stuff.
But fighting was just part of the journey.
I was pretty average. Like mainly, I suppose a lot of time was due to my head game, but I didn't have I wasn't very skilled until after it was all over, and I allowed myself to just get better.
Yeah.
I did a lot of the fighting. I did so much of it just to be a good trainer.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I'm a great teacher.
Yeah. I'm not pissing your pocket.
As a trainer.
Yeah, but I'm not pissing your pocket. I think you're one of the better trainers in this country.
I will.
You corner a lot of fucking people, bro.
And the thing is, people
ask me
that for me is still to this day the reason why I do that, and I still do that, is because I need to learn. I need to keep learning.
Yeah.
And
isn't that a good? Isn't that the teacher's way as well? You always learn.
100%. And
always be open to learning.
The big problem is people are so quick to start gyms, and they think that
get that foundation.
Knowing their technique and stuff is all it takes to be a trainer. You know, it's for me the number one thing. I'd probably call it. I'd have to say 2,000 to 3,000 fighters, 2,000 to 3,000 fights, and I still feel like I know nothing. And
that's good.
Like technique wise, I would dare say my teaching abilities, they might not be straight down the line or whatever, but I would say what I can see in people and the changes I can make, the fixes, I think is, like a 1 in a million sort of thing.
Yeah.
Me as a trainer, I think I'm a beginner.
Yeah.
And
that's fun. Yeah.
Am I good? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Can I be better? I can be way better.
But that's,
And I will be.
Yeah. You know, the 3 philosophies in life I live by is like always be playful. Never lose that inner child. Always be playful.
Yeah.
Have that sense of belonging, that deep connection to other people.
Yeah, man.
And the third one is fucking always be open to learning. Every day you got to learn.
Yeah, man.
You always got to be open to learning.
If you're not
Be humble.
learning, you're losing.
Yeah.
You never know it all. So why act like you do? You need to always be. And there's always things changing. Like my thing is like I believe you can learn from anyone, and I mean like the biggest potato. You can learn something from them. You can look at them and go, even if it's another way of learning is looking at how to not do things.
It's
Like I call out these fraudsters on social media. Like they're everywhere and they're overcomplicating everything to try and act like they're knowledgeable when it's actually because it's the other way around.
Yeah.
They overcomplicate it so it looks like they're intelligent instead of actually knowing what they're talking about. And
call them out.
That's, for me, is another way of learning. Like I'm learning how to not do things.
Yeah.
Which is probably my main way. I look at everything from my Muay Thai. I look at everything from glass half full, glass half empty.
So you look at things like things are happening for me, not to me.
Yeah. It's like
there's a learning experience in everything.
Yeah, like it's okay. This guy's really shit. Why is he so shit?
Why is he
because
shit?
Okay, that's what not to do. That's my way of learning.
Yeah.
And it's not how it works for everyone. But I like to tell people that sort of way, so then they know what to look at too. It's the same way I corner. My guys are never winning in my eyes. Never. They can always do better because they're never good enough. To me, they're never good enough.
Yeah.
They can always do better. Do they have great performances? So absolutely, you can have a great performance.
Yeah.
But you need to realise that your great performance means shit.
Yeah.
It means shit in the big scheme of things because could you have done better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a flawless performance.
Yeah.
We call them that there when they do really good sometimes, but there is no such thing as a flawless performance. There's always something to fix.
So I was always looking for a better way, or just always looking for that. Yeah. Mate, the gym. Let's talk about your gym now.
Yeah.
You talk about coaching, training, everything like that. The gym. How long have you had the gym for out here in Kilkenny?
I've been in Kilkenny for almost 6.5 years, and then I was a year and a half in another place beforehand. Managed to make enough money in that time to build a bigger place. It was only 120 square metres, including the office and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we moved here, which is only like, including the office, it's like 161 square metres, I believe.
Yeah. Here.
But I can fill it pretty regularly now.
So you've got kids. You had your kids classes earlier on.
Yeah.
You've got ladies classes now.
Yep.
Classes every night.
Yeah, we've got Monday to Friday. Monday to Thursday is like all the general classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Mornings and stuff. Friday nights is just sparring. It's a quicker session.
Yeah.
Saturday mornings, and then once Saturday morning's done, that's pretty much it. And then we've got people doing PTs pretty much every day.
Hannah and the boys and everything like that.
Main guys right now is Clint and Benji doing PTs.
Yeah.
Myself, I've just started doing them again. I didn't do them for a long time.
Yeah.
I was trying to hold my body together. Now I do weights a lot to hold my body together. I can actually do them again.
Training, I do.
Yeah, so not quite, but it's. I definitely needed those years away from. I did like 2 or 3 years of doing none.
Yeah.
And now that I'm back doing them, I'm enjoying it again. I don't have many, and I'll leave it like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing more than like 10 a week. Let me catch it a little.
So you speak Thai. You look like you were saying when was that your house before?
Yeah, we have a no English.
No English.
Oh, hell. Good day. We don't have a no English rule in my house.
Yeah.
I think it's just so important for kids to keep their mother tongue, you know? It's
I think so as well, man.
They hate it. They would love nothing more than not have to speak it.
Yeah.
But you watch in 10 years' time, they go, thank fuck you made us speak
Mate,
it.
it teaches them intelligence as well. That opens up the neuro paths as well.
Man.
When they know a second language.
My pro team is Panna.
Had a great win, mate.
Yeah,
70-74, big elbow.
Yeah. That was a breakthrough fight for him, and his next one,
Very hard kicker as well. Oh.
He's a very, very hard kicker. He's the hardest kicker I've had. Once he starts relaxing in the ring, like in fights, he's going to do damage, man. He's 9 fights into his pro career now. Man, he's learning, and I think he's only just now coming into his own. You know.
Yeah.
he hits hard, man, and he's got his first one in Adelaide in a long time. Now, I don't think he's fought in Adelaide well over 2 years.
Was that Balls of Fury? No, Fist of Fury. Fist of Fury.
Knees of Fury.
Knees of Fury, sorry.
His last one in Adelaide, I believe, was on SA Muay Thai League.
Okay.
I believe, yes, what the amateur show, but he was like a pro semi-main event or something. It was like they've got one or two pro fights on the card. The old 1990s recipe. Then I've got Josh Masters, who's
he just fought on Legends.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Road to Legends.
Ex-kickboxer out of
He
Perth.
fought Nelson Lecky.
Nelson Lecky, yeah. So far from a good performance, and he went absolutely spastic in the first round. And
you don't mince your words, do you, Pinky? You just
it was crap. Like and he'd worked with Jason.
I'm not laughing at you, Josh. I'm laughing at you.
Yeah, and Jason had, Jason put a lot of time into him, and I know Josh has learnt a lot from that because he knows I'm not going to put up with that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go spastic in the first round, gas out, and then lose your heart because of it,
Yeah.
Man, he showed how tough he is, got head kicked, got straight back up laughing.
Is that just a reaction, you think? He's just
he's tough.
Yeah.
He's tough as fuck. And the one that everyone knows is 50 Shades.
50 Shades, yes.
He's... including his amateur, his pro record. Who cares about his amateurs? His pro record is 6-4. He's just come off of the 2 big wins on Rebellion. His last 2 fights.
Yeah,
on Rebellion.
Yeah. He's getting a good name in the country, in Australia.
So some big news coming up for him as well. His last 2 fights that he's fought were against 2 guys, 2 different weight divisions, but they'd both just come off of losses for the WBC Australian title.
Okay.
So to me, that's Jason's the next guy in line.
Yeah.
So
what weight is Jason?
66.68.
66.
But he fought at 70 against Tim Nguyen.
Yeah.
And beat him. I don't think anyone thought he was going to beat him.
Yeah.
And
he's not a bad fighter.
Then he fought 67. No, he fought it was at 68 when he fought Carter. They asked to go up a kilo, which it is what it is, man. Like. Jason had it in his head that he was going to beat him anyway, so it was okay, So he went up. He went up to 68, won that as well, both on Rebellion. Then he hasn't fought since then, so it'll be 6 months by the time he's back in there. He's fighting Prabsuk from Kalsok next.
Is he?
Yeah. On Pride.
Is he?
Yeah. So.
No way.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even know that.
Coming over for Pride then?
Nah, I might have to do that.
Yeah. You know where to stay at my house, man.
Yeah, I know that. I know that too. Do I have to speak Thai? I know somebody can't. No, I'm not being racist. I look Thai. No, actually, you were saying I look like a fucking old wintry man.
I said he looks like an old white man who's had too much sun.
You don't look Asian, he says to me.
Cool story, bro.
No. Cool story, bro. So who else have you got in the
So then we've got a pile of amateurs there.
Yeah. Just turn around and there's a big fighting camp here.
So who we got in there now? The most experienced Ami is Clint. He's had 8.
Yeah.
He's had 6. Luke's had 1. Steve's had 2.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys are pretty fresh. They've only literally last week started training with the fighters. So there's still a few guys.
What about you've been giving Connie some flowers? What about Connie? When she had many fights?
Yeah, she runs kids classes.
Runs kids classes with Panna as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and Panna and Clint and Steve, they all do kids classes together. I think it's one of those things you got to have a lot of trainers to control kids. Yeah. To keep them focused.
That's I always say that's got to help them with their game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, she's you see her in the background in the red shirt. She's like great IQ. She doesn't have to be watching, and she's blocking and like super talented. Hasn't put it together in there yet. Like I think she's had some good wins, but she definitely hasn't done what she can do. Yeah. And that's the joys of being an amateur, right? And why I'm a big believer in you separate the amateurs from pros. You have a black and white line, padding and no padding. As amateur and pro, I don't believe in steps of take this off and then the next, and then take this off and then the next.
Then bang.
If you can leave the pad, if you can have any pads on them, leave them all on them. And then once they go pro, then you take it all off.
Yeah.
and that learning time when you're making all your mistakes is with the padding. Less likely to get injured too.
With pros, you have to be 18, don't you, to be a pro?
You have to be 18.
Actually, got 2 more years.
Yeah.
I heard one of your podcasts and you were saying how South Australian Muay Thai is not that. It's not up to standard with the rest of the country.
It's shit.
But then I was at the WBC Amazing Muay Thai Festival.
Yep.
You've got some great kids coming up. You've got Archie.
Yeah, man.
Oh, what's his? I'll get that. Archie and Boston.
Boston, yeah.
From Strongheart, isn't it?
Yeah,
the Strongheart Muay Thai. Jordan.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, there's a few gyms doing real Muay Thai. There's actually.
Hold on, Jordan was saying that they have to go.
We're always traveling.
Interstate.
But me and him are always traveling.
Yeah.
The only other gym that has pro Muay Thai fighters, like more than one, would be Boars.
Yeah.
Carly Angel's gym. Like her and her dad, they've got she's got like Penny Godfrey who's fought on hardcore and roots and stuff. But yeah, they travel a lot as well. But aside from like, if you want to try and put on a pro show here, it would literally be Strongheart, Team Pinky, Boars, maybe one person from another couple of gyms versus people from interstate.
Yeah.
You don't get local pro fights.
Yeah.
Because there's no one. And the reason being, Knees of Fury ruined it for a long time by just having everyone fighting unpadded, thinking they're superstars, having one fight and quitting because it was such a big deal with all the lighting and the fireworks and the walkouts and all the crap.
Yeah, all the razzmatazz. Yeah.
No one stuck in there because they blew their load too early.
Yeah.
It was like the worst thing you can do for an amateur is have flashy stuff because, man, you prematurely ejaculate and it's game over.
You go to sleep.
Yeah, because you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
Or it was too much. So now it's like, so far that we've had amateur shows here, the only one that's done properly would be Valley.
Yeah.
Which is Paddy Brown from Gorilla in Gawler.
Yep.
He's been putting on like, he's had 2 shows now and it's absolutely zero frills.
Yeah.
It's like Muay Thai Victoria. So Muay Thai Victoria to a T.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You travel to Muay Vic a lot as well.
A lot.
Maddie just said, Maddie, your co-host, he goes over there.
Yeah, he started going last year.
How long's that drive?
8 hours.
Oh, she's got to travel fucking 8 hours, 16-hour round trip. But you make it a day. You make it a fucking
back straight afterwards, but now we camp on the way home because I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not 21 anymore. I can't do this all driving all night thing. And but it's something we have to do, man.
Yeah.
To get the fights. Otherwise, I'm doing what everyone else in SA is doing, and the guys are staying amateur for 5 years because they're not getting enough fights.
Is there going to be a stepping stone?
Yeah. Well. There's other amateur shows started. There's SA Muay Thai League. They still to me, there's still too many frills. They got like big announcements and they're trying a bit of mood lighting and trying to get the guys pumped up and then the trainers do the same thing then.
Yeah.
On Valley, you hardly see a trainer lose his shit because they got to win, you know? Like, you don't see that because it's just like, man, it's too bright in here. Everyone can just see what's going on. You know, you don't pedestal it, you know, which is what we need. SA Muay Thai, if you took the wank out of it, it would be great.
Yeah.
But there's still a little bit too much. Carly's got an amateur show, daytime show before Pride in next month.
So that before Pride?
Yeah. So
it's a bit like the what Si's doing with
it's going to be,
Roots and Rebellion type of thing?
Roots are still pro.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like Ami. It's more like what SRG do. They do that full time. But
MTGP back home in WA, they do that. Amateurs in the morning and then.
It's same sort of thing's going to be happening and. I've got 2 matched on it so far, the AMI thing. Yeah. But also I don't have a big team of AMIs at the moment, so which is good. Like last 2 years I've had 50 fights, both in a row. And I'll tell you, it burnt me out.
Just travelling.
I'd rather have 2 or 3 on a show and I've got 3 on the main card and if I've got 2 on the AMI, 3 on the AMI, I'm happy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, if Carly is going to follow the lead that, you know, what Muay Thai Vic are doing and what now Valley
It's
is doing.
important though.
It is very
It's
important.
important that every
walkouts,
state,
no lighting, no nothing.
no razzmatazz, just fucking get
Stand
by.
behind the corner.
Yeah.
While one person's getting out, they're already calling the next one in.
Yes, we do that a lot in WA.
It's all that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so right now that's I think Paddy 2, maybe 3 shows this year.
Yeah.
Valley, Valley, SA Muay Thai League 2 or 3. Pride probably 2.
Yeah.
There's someone else trying to get their promoter's license at the moment, which will do full amateur stuff as well.
Yeah. What about you?
I can't.
You don't want it?
No,
or
I can't.
it's too much too?
Man, SA is one of the hardest states to get your promoter's license.
Okay.
And yeah, it's not worth me applying for it.
No, okay.
Steps are now there. If everyone can then wind back, as I say, the wank, and everyone can do what we're doing, and everyone can be racking up 6, 7 fights in a year, which they should be. That's the minimum you should be having as an amateur.
Yeah.
There's losing the 6-week preparations to get ready for it and hyping it up and match up photos done for social media and
For amateurs.
yeah, and weigh in face-offs. Oh, bro, this is the shit we're dealing with. And there's so much
Puts pressure. That puts so much pressure on the fighter.
and it shortens their career. It makes that's why no one in SA has been going pro. You don't have pros because there's all of that. They're blowing their load.
Yeah.
It's you've got to get them so they can make all their mistakes with no one watching as such. There's no one remembers because you don't have it posted all over social media.
Yeah.
Oh man, so and so fought in that promotion. Remember that?
Yeah.
How'd they go? They don't remember.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. They don't remember who was on there. There's no bullshit attached to it. So it's like, boom. They have their 10 fights and it's like, all right, time to reset my record back to 0. I'm pro now.
Yeah.
I had 10 amateurs. What was your amateur record? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the trainers should know who they were, and you go, okay, yeah, that were alright as an amateur, so that'll be fine against my boy, and you just let it go, man. You just let them go pro, let them have their first matchups against another debut or someone who's had one.
Yeah.
And then you get to see who, and then no one should even ask what their amateur career was ever again.
Yeah.
Like people know after 5 amateur fights, people should know who they are. I won't be doing these other shows anymore. Shows, man, I'll call it shows like Knees of Fury. They done their dash with me, man. Years ago, he asked me, man, how do I keep SA going? I'm like, stop doing what you're doing. Go back to treating people like amateurs and doing that sort of stuff. As I said, his feelings are his problem. Your feelings are your problem.
Yeah,
am I your friend? Yes, I am. I'm not going to do anything to hurt you.
Yeah.
But if I upset you with something I do say, man, that's on you, not on me.
Yeah.
Same with these promoters. I talk so openly about it. I don't care if they like me or not. I don't care if they. I don't care if anyone likes me or not.
Yeah.
My thing I put first is Muay Thai, and why? Because I'll go back to it. Because I owe my life to it. Muay Thai first. So don't disrespect my first love.
Yeah.
My wife knows Muay Thai comes before her a lot of the time.
I've heard that so many times. Roy Real says this about Jacinta as well. When they first got together, Roy said, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
And this comes first type of thing.
My wife is into Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Because our relationship was pretty much done.
She's Thai, yeah?
Yeah, she's Thai.
Yeah.
And after we had Anton, he was sick for 8 months. He was on oxygen. We were in and out of hospital. We spent months in hospital. It was horrendous, and it was hard for her. And our relationship almost ended over the fact that I was just never around.
Yeah.
I was away for fight shows. Whether I was interstate, I was overseas. I was here every night. Do you know what saved our marriage? She started training, and that's how she ended up fighting.
Muay Thai saved.
Yeah, she'd never.
Muay Thai didn't save your life; it saved your marriage as well.
Saved my love life.
Yeah.
She ended up having a couple of fights and done her ACL, but the only reason she started training is because she wanted to be around me.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing left. It was it's where I was every night.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a business. I'm trying to make money to feed my family, and so my kids grew up in here. After about
they live in the gym though, basically.
After about 8 or 9 months, they were in here every night, and my missus lost all the baby fat, and then next thing she got thin, and she had a couple of fights, and she would have gone on if she didn't do her ACL. She would have gone on to have a pile of fights. I have no doubt she would have gone on to win belts because she was something you don't find often in a woman is a Muay Thai style, like a knee fighter.
A knee fighter.
And she would take anything you wanted to throw at her. To latch on. She was like a female version of 50 Shades. She would just latch on and just knee and elbows in the face. She didn't care. She had that. One of the hardest things you can find in someone is the will to win no matter what.
Yeah.
I've had that in 3 fighters.
Yeah.
It was her. Dog roll. Dog roll had this thing where he would absolutely lose his shit in the first round, blow every bit of gas he had, big adrenaline dump. He'd be going cross-eyed, almost passing out, but he was trying to win till the end.
Yeah.
Then I had one other boy, heavyweight boy.
You can't teach that shit. You can't teach fight.
Joel. He hardly trained. Man, you don't get lazier than this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he would be in here every night and whatnot, but he just didn't put in. I know he did it because he had a reason then to lose if he lost.
Yeah.
But he would be gassed out in a fight, but he would still be trying. And he was my only guy to ever gone 5-0.
Yeah.
Because he was just trying to win. He just wanted to win.
Part of a fighter, man. You can't teach that.
No.
You can't teach.
Now that some of them, they've got that will to win now, but it's a trained will to win.
Yeah.
It's that they've been through the hard yards and now they want the rewards for their efforts. You're like Hannah, Jason, those 2 guys are dead examples of that.
Yeah.
They were almost content with losing before. And then now it's like, we want to win now. And then that will to win comes from also doing the right things in here.
Yeah.
That when you get in the fight and you are losing, you've covered all bases. We talked about it with Jason, not me. His last fight, he didn't want to be there that fight. It was one of those. He's had those days where if he doesn't want to be there, man, he checks out. And he said to me before the fight, before going out to fight Carter Lawrence, he's like, man, it's one of them nights. I don't want to be here.
Is that what he said to you?
Yeah, man.
And what did you say?
And it was the first time he's ever told me though.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, bro, do you know what the difference between now and then is though? Because he'd always set himself up for that. He would not train properly. He would do it. He prepared 100%.
Yeah.
So what happens then? You say to him, okay. I go, man, you've covered all bases. All you've got to do is just go in there, just give it a crack, bro. Know that you've done everything in the gym, and by the end of the 3rd round, he's like, yeah, man, I can do this. End of the 4th round, I just got to bash him now. And he managed to win it on points.
So it changed in
the
fucking...
man. As I said, I was mic'd up for it, but I didn't know how to set up my mics. And I did a video, like a short on YouTube, which was you see his facial expressions change to the point where he went from to between the rounds towards the end of the fight.
Yeah.
And then, that for me, that fight broke me.
Was that the rebellion fight?
Yeah. So
that was a fucking great performance as well.
So it was
that was a beautiful performance. He got cut open as well, yeah.
You got big black eyes.
Well, not cut open, but yeah.
But he was like so like when we came out the back and I realised the enormity of him coming. First time he'd ever come out the other side of that I don't want to be here thing. I'm out back and I just sat down and just started bawling my eyes out.
Very emotional for you.
Huge, man. Like I'm an emotional dude. I don't care who sees me cry. My sister. I don't care.
Did you ever make you cry?
To work.
What's next for the gym, mate? What's next for you, the gym?
I've got a few new amateurs. I've got a first timer matched on Pride and a guy who's had 1 fight matched on Pride. So start putting some bit more time into them as well, like get them growing. And
so Pride's a pretty big show in South Australia.
Yeah, it's our pro. It's got our pro card.
Okay.
They've got an amateur day card and then the pro night card.
I can't
I believe the main card's still a mixture of amis and pros because it's SA. But yeah, so man, just take the fights as they come. We got some big news for June and all I want to do is talk about it, but I can't yet.
Why? Fuck, I'm your mate, bro. I've only got 50 subscribers. No, I'm only joking.
It's not. It'll be released soon enough. Full time. Hannah's going to do a stint in Thailand this year.
Is he?
He'll probably go to Monopoly as well.
When's he going?
Looking at July, I reckon.
June, July.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be in there in July.
Yeah.
I might go there. Might do some content.
Yeah.
I'll be in Bangkok. Is that Bangkok?
No, Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai. North.
He'll be over there this year. I'm looking at RWS this year for hopefully Jason.
You were just at RWS with Maxi?
I was, yes.
Then you called in him?
Yeah, I was in the corner, which was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Max, man. He's very special.
You
very,
are-
very special boy to me.
I remember MTGP, mate, a couple of years ago.
He cornered for Jason. Cornered with me for Jason, and
then he fought that night, didn't he?
No, he didn't fight on that one. Then I went on to surprise him for his 21st.
21st, that's right.
He fought Damon Nelson.
There
for that.
Yeah.
So when he cornered,
that was the first time I met you.
Yes,
in person.
That's right. When he cornered for me for Jason, was when Jason fought Damon Nelson. I can honestly say I love Max a lot, man. Like, he's a very special boy to me. Like, we only met just before COVID. Like, we have a special relationship.
I do like Max. I love his style of fighting as well.
God.
He's one of my favourite fighters. Maxie, very entertaining.
Hard-ons.
IQ through the roof.
Oh, through the roof.
Very sexy Muay Thai fighter.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And not meaning that in a sexual way.
I'll put it in a sexual way.
You do. But yeah, Davey's father. You know, 3 Lions down at
absolute legend.
Port Kennedy in WA. You know, he's an absolute legend. Great guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's got at that gym's got one of the top Australian fighters, women fighters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bryony Soden.
Yeah, he's spending some time in Thailand at the moment. Which is cool.
She fought on RWS. Tough girl. Unlucky she lost the world title a couple of months back, but she's fighting on the MTTP coming up. Another international belt. Speaking of MTGP, you know what I'd like to see? Darius, Gavin. See this kid here, Panna? Get him on board. Match him, please. Yeah. We'll get him on board. And,
these days, got to be well advanced because it's just
busy.
Oh man, like I've got most of my pros booked out until like August.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Got to get in early for the pinky fighter.
Oh man, it's cool. Obviously, be sick when I've got some more. You know, some more pros and that. Which there's some guys racking them up, man. They'll get there. They'll get there. It's just take a little bit of time, but they'll get there.
I love it. Thank you. We'll wrap it up now, man. We talk. We can go on for fucking hours, man. Weeks, days, months.
We obviously did Striker Chat.
Yes,
well.
the audio strike
went for ages.
Remember that? That was me, you, and Sammy.
Yeah, went for ages as well.
Speaking of Sammy, I'm going to be over in Phuket.
Cool.
And I'm going to
another person who I can genuinely say
I love that guy too, mate. I'm going to be doing some content with Sammy. We're going to I want him to be my co-host. We're going to do a couple of striker chats.
Yeah, man.
We did like seen him at the WBC festival.
Yeah.
And we did a bit of content. And he's such a natural at it, so I'm sure
I've just taken on the role of running the amateur WBC side of things for South Australia.
See, that's what I wanted to touch on. South Australian Muay Thai is on the up, brother.
You know, man, there's a lot of stuff in place. It's just honestly, we've just got to. And it's going to sound bad, weed out the gyms who aren't doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, the recipe for me is match the good gyms against each other and let the others just fend for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck them in on the shows, but let them fight each other and realise that to get anywhere, you have to be doing the right recipe.
Yeah.
That for me is it. And so I'm doing the pro side of things. Jordan is the head of WBC for the pros. Yeah. I'm doing the amateur, he's doing the pro, sorry.
And fielding. Yep.
Mate, and me,
good gym.
Jordan and myself have a very, very close relationship.
Yeah.
I used to train him.
Yep. Really?
Yeah, he had like a few fights for me back in the day. Yeah. Before I had my own gym, man, we have a great relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good that you two are pushing South Australian Muay Thai forward.
Yeah, and it feels like an uphill battle, man. But now promoters are starting to jump on with the whole matching the good gyms against each other, so that you can make beautiful Muay Thai. At least then people know what to look at. They go,
beautiful.
That's
Muay
what we
Thai.
should be looking at.
Yeah. We are looking at beautiful Muay Thai.
And we can keep going with this, right?
Speaking of beautiful Muay Thai, speaking of beautiful people, speaking of a beautiful gym, thank you very much, man. Love you so much.
Love you too, brother.
Woo! Yeah. That was it. Us two. Let's go. I'm gonna get a photo of That was good, brother. That was like 20 hours we talked for.